The offices of the New England Patriots are not open to the public. Their secrets to success are rarely discussed. Their coaching staff seldom heard from. Until now. NFL championships are won on the football field. But they are designed inside buildings like this one. These are the architects of the 2014 New England Patriots. Their jobs are complex. Their goal was simple: to win a championship.
Finish the play, buddy. Finish the play. That's your job.
Do your job.
Let's go, fundamentals.
Bill Belichick demands that of his players.
Don't let them inside. Flatten them out. That's a nice job, High.
And also his assistants.
We'll go to him with new ideas all the time, or what we think are new ideas, which is stuff that he probably just ran 30 years ago or 20 years ago.
I mean, this is just a throw it out there and see how you...
He wants you to disagree. He respects that. He listens.
Yeah. What do you think about...
Sometimes in the back of your mind, you're going, okay, this is a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, and you're just telling him, hey, this is messed up.
It's like every play is like a blow the whistle, Xerox, do it over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He trusts us, and then he demonstrates that by allowing us to go out and make decisions.
Yeah, okay. That's a good idea.
I make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes you're not as quick to recognize your own as somebody else's, or somebody else can recognize yours before you do.
Just take it one thing at a time.
So far as Ringo lucky with the Bears. So
No, perfect.
He has such an unbelievable, uncanny ability to know when to change moods.
Get on the sideline. Get on the sideline.
That's the thing that you need as a great leader.
No shortcuts to being in condition. No shortcut to being mentally tough.
The Patriots began the season 2-1. Then came Kansas City.
We didn't play well at all. We gave up big plays. We turned the ball over. So we came in at halftime. We were talking about adjustments and all that, but I didn't really feel like that's what the game was about at all. I felt like the game was just really about competition. And that's what I told the team at halftime. I said, this second half is going to define our season. You know, I want to see what kind of football team we have. I'm not that concerned about the score until we start competing better, until we start playing harder. All the X's and O's and adjustments and all that aren't going to make any difference.
On the scoreboard, it only got worse.
That's awful. Absolutely awful.
New England suffered its most lopsided defeat in 11 years.
There's going to be some loud music out there. There's going to be people questioning play calling, personnel grouping.
We took criticism from everybody, everywhere.
It's entirely possible to see how ineffective the Patriots have been on offense over the first 4 weeks.
And suggest that they are fatally flawed and there is something horribly wrong with them to the extent that even Tom Brady and Bill Belichick can't fix it.
It was also worth wondering if the Patriots' incredible dynasty died at Arrowhead Stadium, too.
That's how bad the 41-14 loss was. The Patriots have never looked this incompetent in the Belichick-Brady era.
The best part of that is they were telling Tommy that he was all done.
Will the quarterback position be evaluated?
I mean, there's nothing better that can happen to get his competitive juices going. So thank you to all the people and media people who did that.
When I walked off the field that night, I really felt good about the team, even though we'd gotten, smashed. I felt something about the team that night in the second half that I really thought we can build on. Anybody that wanted to cash it in there could have cashed it in. We weren't going to win. We were behind. We're on the road. Their crowd was in a frenzy. The Chiefs are playing very well, but I could see the fight. I could see the team's emotions in the game. I felt good about their toughness, their competitiveness, that they cared, that they really played with a purpose, and they cared about each other. Okay, if we have this, then we're, in the end, we're going to have a chance.
He was right. The Patriots won another division title.
right, so look, this gives us a chance now. Just gives us a chance. Puts us in position. Congratulations, AFC's champs. We'll see you Wednesday.
But to ensure a job well done, they needed to win their first Super Bowl in a decade and raise a fourth championship banner. When we return...
It was the same play that we ran against the Colts in 2001 with David Patton.
If coaching is a chess match, Bill Belichick is the NFL's Bobby Fischer. Before the Patriots knew their playoff opponent, Belichick was already crafting the endgame.
During the bye week, he brought myself, Josh McDaniels, and Brian Daboll in his office to talk to us about having something different that we might need in the postseason to help us win a football game.
Tennessee had a play on the last play of the game where they put 4 skill players in at guard and tackle.
Everybody but the center. Get the line out. Everybody but the center.
I've never seen this. The only offensive lineman that is in the game right now, I believe, is Spencer.
When I saw the play, I thought to myself, that's something you see on the punt team. And that's always a problem for us to identify who's eligible, because you don't want them to sneak somebody out and fake punt you and that kind of thing. But it's hard to match up. And a lot of times the officials don't, they're not going to sit there and say, 54 is eligible, 27's ineligible, 89's ineligible, 76 is eligible. They just it goes kind of fast. And defensively, you kind of just got to figure it out.
As an offensive staff, we went in there and we discussed the general idea of displacing some people, using a 4-man line.
And I said to Josh, look, if we split an eligible guy out and he's a legitimate receiver like Vereen, defensively, even though that guy is ineligible, it's going to be hard not to cover him just instinctively. You see Vereen out there and you don't think, all right, forget about him.
Derrick Henry is the running back.
Well, look at this odd formation. Players all over the field.
I think it was the Alabama-LSU game. Alabama kind of lined up in a unique formation and hit the tight end right down the middle. There was nobody on him. We actually showed it to the team.
LSU is confused. This guy's not even eligible right here, but he fakes a pass, and they free up the real tight end who was lined up as a tackle.
With everybody split out, and there were really, 6 guys on the line, but 5 were eligible. We talked to the NFL officials about, reporting and making sure we did everything legal about our alignment and our reporting procedure and who had to go out after the play and all that. And so that's the way we practiced it.
The ineligible receiver formation with running back Shane Vereen was named Baltimore. But the play remained uncalled until New England fell behind 28-14 in the third quarter.
That could be your ball game right there, folks.
Josh and I talked and said, look, this is it. We're down by 14. We're in the playoffs. We got to try to get it going here. Let's go with Baltimore and, let's spring it on them and just, see if we can get a play here and get going.
Baltimore.
It's the first time in my career, coaching 24 years, they only have 4 offensive linemen on the field.
Vereen declared himself an ineligible receiver, but still lined up in the slot. Tight end Michael Ho'omanawanui appeared to line up as a 5th offensive lineman. The Ravens left him uncovered.
Tom and I talked about it, and our conversation was kind of, well, if this works the first time, if we have like a little different look on this the second time, they're going to have trouble with that too. So we changed the formation a little bit and made it Raven.
Ho'omanawanui declared himself an ineligible receiver, and once again, Tom Brady found an open man on the other side of the field.
You guys are getting your money's worth of them formations.
Illegal? Yeah, they're illegal.
There's really no doubt about the rule. We didn't do anything that, is in any way in violation of the rules. It's just a tough look, I would say.
Baltimore.
Green, as he broke the huddle, telling him that that guy right there is ineligible. But defensively, not very much time to react to that.
We waited until the second half, purposefully, so they didn't have an opportunity at halftime to talk about it.
Touchdown, Patriots! Oh, John Harbaugh is livid about this one.
We figured that, okay, now they're going to go to the sideline. Like, now they got to spend time talking about this. And now the next series, we're not going to run it, but, you know, maybe that'll distract them a little bit and so forth.
They don't know the difference between whether Julian's ineligible or Shane's ineligible. Hey, whatever it takes to get a spark, get it rolling down the field, then we go back into our regular offense.
You know, we're down by 7, right? And Josh and I just looked at each other, and it came out of our mouth at the same time, like, let's go to the double pass.
I don't need any lead time for the double pass, do I? I mean, I don't have to tell you it's coming, okay.
Amendola along with Brock. Now Edelman motions out to the left. Quick throw for Julian, setting up a screen. He's going to look to throw downfield. Amendola wide open. Makes the 18 strike. He scores!
We went away from letting anybody other than Tom throw the ball for quite a while because we had another time where we let somebody throw the ball in New York and it ended up in an interception. And I can remember the staff meeting that we had after that game. Never again, you know, with Tom Brady as our quarterback, will we need to have somebody else throw the ball.
Not necessarily.
It was early in training camp, and, you know, I talked to Josh, and we need to get some just misdirection plays in, plays that are a little bit different. And I said, like, what do you think about the double pass? You know, Edelman can throw. And he gave me that look like, you're the one who said nobody other than Brady is going to throw the ball for us. And I said, yeah, it's been a decade. Maybe let's give Edelman a chance. Of course, any time that Edelman hit it, then he would come into the meeting after practice and, you know, have ice on his shoulder like a quarterback would. And, you know, coach, got to take care of my arm.
It was actually run in the Kansas City game, and we had a second option on the double pass that if we didn't get the defensive look, that we would opt out of the double pass and then we would go to our slant route at the bottom to Brandon LaFell. You can see up top, Danny Amendola telling him to stop, to not show the double pass. We don't run the double pass. You can't tell we're doing it at the bottom. And Brandon LaFell, ironically, scores on this play. In hindsight, obviously, that was going to be critical to our season, because if we don't have the players execute the part of not giving away the double pass, then we don't have this play available for us in the biggest game of the year when we needed it versus Baltimore.
They have been keeping that one under wraps for a long time.
When the Patriots designed their game plan for the AFC Championship against the Colts, the staff revisited a lesson learned from their Week 11 victory in Indianapolis.
We didn't want to make this a deal where we're going 3 and 4 plays and then they got the ball again. You're trying to neutralize the amount of time that they're on the field and at the same time control the ball and finish in the end zone.
We used an extra offensive lineman to hammer them in the run game.
They got extra linemen, extra linemen.
Cameron Fleming was the guy. Put him in at the jumbo tight end and let it roll.
This extra tackle out here is really making a difference. Cameron Fleming, and they are just either confusing or blowing the Colts off the ball here.
Jonas Gray helped defeat the Colts with 201 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. LeGarrette Blount started the AFC Championship against the Colts, but a change in running backs did not result in a change in game plan.
Well, I don't think it was the same general approach. It was the same approach. Until they stopped it, we were going to use it.
We said it in Week 11. Until you face the bully and tell him that you're not going to be pushed around, all that bully's going to do is find you every day in that schoolyard.
pound the freaking ball. That's all. Just pound the ball.
He takes the handoff. LeGarrette blasts it straight ahead. Carves left. Across the 5. Between two defenders. Touchdown!
Blunt force trauma has returned to the playoffs.
You know, we talk about it a lot about, you know, before you win, you have to learn how not to lose. And one of the things that'll get you to lose quick at big plays.
Well, we put Revis on Wayne. Browner was on Fleener a lot. The key matchup for us in that game was Kyle Arrington on Hilton.
Kyle Arrington had him on anything underneath. He was going to trail him the whole game, and we had Devin over top of him. I think he only caught one ball. That was, and they made a hell of a throw and catch.
They got Browner waiting for me, and they also got, it's just like two guys standing in front of me.
Welcome to my room.
Like in the Baltimore game, the Patriots caught their opponent off guard with an unorthodox formation.
We've been using Fleming as the eligible lineman, and so we made a switch there. Nate was the eligible guy. Fleming was ineligible.
We put a tight end on the other side, and it looks like he's the tackle, even though he declared himself eligible. You know, it looks like he's still lined up in his original position, although technically he's eligible. Nobody covered him.
Double stack to the right, Blunt in the back. With Brady pulls away. Play fake to Blunt. Quick throw to a tackle out to the shoulder. Across the 5. Nate rolling over defender. Touchdown, Patriots!
Congratulations to the AFC champion, New England Patriots.
Jim, I only have one thing to say. We're on to Seattle.
When we return,
I read something online related to reports coming out of Indianapolis and just sort of chalked it up to sour grapes at the time.
Did they or didn't they? It's the alleged cheating scandal launching 1,000 saucy headlines. Deflategate. Tonight, the New England Patriots are fighting back against accusations of unsportsmanlike conduct. Did they deflate footballs during their championship game to gain a strategic advantage?
The first I heard about it was at halftime when I heard that the NFL needed both teams' footballs, and I was to try to help get our footballs into the league's hands, so I don't know why they needed them. They just needed them.
You know, at first I didn't really give it too much thought. I'm thinking, okay. And then as more attention seemed to be given to this, it was kind of like, you know, is this going to be a story?
What happened during the course of the game to potentially cause a deflation? Well, we go to the ideal gas law, okay, which is PV equals NRT.
It became a media frenzy and a tremendous distraction.
Why would he take a bag full of balls into the bathroom with him? I mean, nature calls right then.
He takes his responsibility seriously.
Yes.
Don't let these out of your sight.
It pisses you off that it becomes a whole focal point of everybody that talks about you.
You know, a good football team has got to be like a racehorse. You got to have the blinders on, going straight ahead.
It did matter, but it didn't matter because somebody else was handling it. Bill was on that.
He told the team point blank, don't concern yourself with this.
You have to focus on what your job is. For our jobs, as you know, assistant coaches, we were grinding.
That week was a game plan week for us. It was like we were playing on Sunday.
So for 3 straight days, he's dealing with the ball, and we know he would have liked to be in there where he's at his best, and that's in the film room of devising a game plan to help us win a world championship.
Kind of as everything settled in and was talked about, I talked to the people here that would have had some knowledge of the preparation of the footballs. Let's take some footballs, let's go through the exact same process that we went through. You know, we saw a decrease in the air pressure of all the footballs. It was not exact, but it was consistent. You know, we used multiple gauges. I saw at that point that there was a big discrepancy between gauges. Based on that, I felt like there was an explanation that I could give that was certainly worth consideration. And so that's what I did. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements. I'm just telling you what I know. Would not say that I'm Mona Lisa Vito of the football world, as she was in the car expertise area.
Can you answer the question?
No, it is a trick question.
Why is it a trick question?
Because Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62. And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center.
I mean, I've seen the movie, 50 times, so. She was the best. That's all-time great expert witness. I wasn't trying to be that.
The Patriots were trying to be Super Bowl champions and not tabloid fodder.
We decided on the plane ride out there that it made sense to just put an end to it so that the whole rest of the week wasn't spent answering questions about it.
I wanted to set the tone for the week that, this was a bunch of hogwash. If the Wells investigation is not able to definitively determine that our organization tampered with the air pressure in the footballs, I would expect and hope that the league would apologize to our entire team, and in particular, Coach Belichick and Tom Brady, for what they have had to endure this past week. A lot of the players came up and thanked me, and they felt that shifted the whole dialogue of the following week.
Take care of all the other garbage that's on the exterior, get that out of the way, get focused on our jobs, and go out there and have a hell of a night Sunday night.
7 years ago, on this field, the Patriots lost a chance for an undefeated season. This time, Bill Belichick wasn't asking his players to be perfect. He just wanted them to do their job.
There's no mystery here, fellas. It's trusting each other and everybody doing their job.
Maybe the one word that isn't in that sentence that's implied but not stated is do your job well. Take care of the 1 or 2, 3 things that we've emphasized all week, we'll be okay. Our main focus was to keep Wilson in the pocket, not letting him run and make plays with his feet.
Make sure we do our job on Wilson.
Whether it be running or extending plays, make him throw, from the well with guys around him.
Something we preach, something we work really hard at doing. We had a day in practice down there at Arizona where we, I thought we were going to have to throw IVs at a bunch of the guys. We brought a couple backup quarterbacks down there to just run around and work on not allowing him to reverse field and change direction.
Making sure we're not, past the quarterback. We got to keep him in front of us. We don't want them to rush timid or slow. We want them to be able to rush, but they have to be able to rush controlled, and with the understanding that at some point this play turns into a run.
That's perfect. And then he's hopping, doesn't really know where to go. No clean read. Good hands, good leverage, good pad level. Good job on the quarterback.
In the first half, Russell Wilson completed just 4 passes and ran for only 39 yards in the game. As far as the Patriots' offensive game plan, there were 3 points of emphasis.
Number 1, offensively, we had to block a fabulous player, Bennett, number 72. Truth is, we didn't really block him all day. Tom just did a great job getting rid of the ball.
The only guy that's giving us any trouble is 72.
Nobody's been able to block Michael Bennett all night.
Good hit, 72.
Number 2, don't run vertical routes, run moving routes, crossing routes.
Well, let me get quick on you.
Force their defense to cover our quickness.
Patriots using those quick wide receivers and just trying to find a way to run between defenders.
Brady has blood to his left to play fake Delaware. Quick throw. Underneath. Touchdown, Patriots. Yeah!
And 3, recognize the difference between man and zone, whether that's by formation or by motion or pre-snap read, whatever it is.
The best example of that came in the Patriots' final drive of the first half, when they devised a way to isolate Rob Gronkowski.
They had played a few snaps in that drive of man coverage, and because they had done that a few times, we called a play we use in 2 minutes.
Gun trigger left, wide.
But we just did it from a formation that put Gronkowski by himself.
Yeah, single, ready? You gotta go.
You know, it's one of those things where you're rolling the dice. I hope they play man coverage.
Right flexed out to the near side right.
Now, if they didn't play man coverage, it was going to be Sherman over there on him, and the ball would have probably gone somewhere else. When we broke the huddle and Sherman came over to the other side of the field and Wright walked out on him, I think everybody on our sideline knew where the ball was going to go.
He lobs it to the right side for Gronkowski. Has a step, has a touchdown!
A linebacker, bump and run on a 6'6" tight end all day long, baby.
England is back in the lead.
But the lead wouldn't last, and in the fourth quarter, the Patriots trailed by 10 points.
Hey, we've been in worse situations than this, huh? Come on now.
I never worry, because we have Tom Brady, the ninja. Bottom line is, you give him time, he'll make things happen. Nobody's better.
Lead us, baby. Let's go.
Shotgun snap to Tom. Play fake to Blunt. Shuffles left. Fires back to the end zone. Touchdown, New England! Danny Amendola!
Fight. That's what makes you guys what you are. A continuous fight. Keep going. We got a lot of football to play. All right? Guys are making plays because you're giving them a chance.
The Patriots had a great chance to score on the play prior to Danny Amendola's touchdown.
Watch this one. In, stop on a dime, back out, could not be more wide open, and Brady missed the throw.
You know, Jules had him, and Tommy just missed it. You know, we scored, came to the sideline. I think everybody felt the same way. Let's call that again, you know. Yeah, Tommy definitely said, hey, come back to that.
It's a great call. Come back to that again.
Tom Brady and the Patriots looking for a fourth quarter drive to take the lead here at Super Bowl 49.
Hey, we need a big championship drive. That's what we need.
In a quarter in which he completed 13 of 15 passes for 124 yards, Brady's final throw came on a play he had already run.
Top short drop, looks left, throws for Edelman, touchdown!
Worked brilliantly before, Brady missed the pass, come right back to it, and Edelman gets it done.
But it was a play he and his teammates had never practiced.
That play was put in the night before in a ballroom in a walkthrough setting.
Hey, what up, buddy? How's everything?
Good, yeah.
Sometimes what we do is if we were going to add something on a Saturday night, we don't even make a big deal out of it. We say, hey, guys, you know, we're going to add this, and our guys are tremendous. They don't flinch. It's, okay, you got it.
Having the courage to draw up a play at the 11th hour might win you a Super Bowl. But as the Patriots know all too well, it's the plays no one could ever imagine that can lose you one.
Russell in the pocket. Russell for Curse, and that's broken up again. And, oh, did he wind up with a football?
I saw the ball go up. I thought Malcolm deflected it, and it was incomplete. That was my first reaction.
I see it batted, and I feel great. Boom, it got knocked up. And then I look, and I don't see the ball bouncing around on the ground, and I think, did he just catch that?
He caught it! He caught it! He caught the ball! Unreal! A catch by Curse on the carom, and the ball knocked away by Butler.
Man.
When the Curse catch happened, down the same end of the field where the Tyree catch happened, it was history, unfortunately, appears to be repeating itself.
Yeah, here we go again.
Here we go again.
In this place again.
Your heart stopped. I can't believe this.
Holy crap, like that actually happened? Can you believe this?
I just said, oh, we have no effing luck.
And at that point, you're really hoping Tom, I think, said it. You know, defense gotta make a play.
He's got to make a play.
I think Butler hit it.
So he breaks up the play. It's still not on the ground. It's still not on the ground. It's still, well, look at that.
That's crazy, yo. That's crazy, yo.
What's really crazy is that Malcolm Butler was even on the field at this stage of Super Bowl 49.
They benched 25. They benched him. 21 in.
In the second half, the rookie free agent from West Alabama, who had no interceptions and 4 passes defended during the regular season, replaced nickel corner Kyle Arrington.
You know, I think Kyle's a streaky player. You know, when he gets going good, he can really be good, like in Baltimore and covering, you know, T.Y. Hilton. And then sometimes when they catch a couple on him, then he just doesn't play his technique, maybe overthinks it a little bit, sometimes plays a little conservative.
The Patriots cannot cover him.
He can't guard you. He can't guard you. They don't got an answer.
The answer was to move Brandon Browner into coverage on number 13, Chris Matthews, who caught just 1 pass for 9 yards after the change.
Malcolm came in and basically covered Curse for most of the second half.
We knew they were going to come after him, which they did right away.
3rd and 2 from the New England 47.
Here comes the rub. There's Malcolm. You know, it's 3rd and 2. There's the rub. We're beat, and now he's trailing. They're going to go at him right now. You know, just a great execution, great job of coming through. Pulls the arm right there. You know, brings the other arm around and makes sure the ball's out.
Butler made another big play on Seattle's final drive.
Can you imagine what this rookie's thinking? And he could not have played this better.
But none of his heroics seemed to matter after Curse's catch.
1st and goal at the 5. 1:06 to play. Russell under center. He hands to Lynch. He goes left. He pounds it down the line.
Unbelievable play by Hightower. Unbelievable play.
The most unsung, but the biggest play of the Super Bowl.
From up in the box, I mean, it looks wide open. I mean, it was wide open. I remember texting him 2 days later. I said, have you seen this play? I said, how in the world did you do this? He bench presses Okung off of him, and he tackles Lynch with his shoulder.
And now New England has to think about taking a timeout.
When he got down there, you know, I thought about the timeout. I knew they only had 1 timeout left. And when I looked over there, I don't know, something just didn't look right. They started on, and they started off, and now...
Hey, you're out.
However many seconds had gone by, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm not going to take them off the hook here by taking the timeout. If they want to use it, let them use it. And Matt said, you know, do you want the timeout?
You want to call the timeout? Do you not want to call the timeout? It was a very lonely moment for me because he wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't even look at me. He was just kind of staring across the field. You know, the clock is running.
People were saying stuff up in the box, asking, were we going to take a timeout? I'd say, Bill, they're wondering about a timeout. He said, yeah, I got it. And you could see it when you watch the rewind or whatever. You could see Bill doing that, which is amazing. That's, again, the genius. He said, yep, I got it. Like we were in the meeting room right now.
I said, no, just play goal line.
They're going goal line.
We have different goal line packages. If they had 1 receiver out there, we'd have 1 corner in the game. If they had 2 receivers out there, we'd have 2 corners in the game. If they had 3, like they did on that last play, then we'd put 3 corners out there.
It was the first time we were in that personnel group all year. The situation had never come up where we needed to use it in a game until that very last play of the season. Thank God we had it.
We spent a lot of time talking about it, and as a coach, and I guess as a young coach, you think it's never going to come up. And then here it is, the biggest game of our lives. Thankfully, Bill's a forward thinker, and no stone goes unturned. We were all ready for it.
Josh, I remember him chiming in on the headset, Flo, send Malcolm, and Flo turning around and yelling, Malcolm, go.
Malcolm, go!
Malcolm was in for Kyle during the game, so Malcolm had to go in, you know, for Kyle at that point in the game.
Let's go, Rob. Let's go.
What's funny is if you look at the play, Browner is having a conversation with Malcolm, and he's telling him exactly what he's going to do. I'm going to jam this guy, and then, you know, we told Malcolm, just go.
If you remember, Malcolm's matchup was really Curse. But Browner had seen enough of those pick routes. He anticipated what was coming as well as Malcolm. So he was like, let me get up here and jam the point, you go. Malcolm had seen that in practice.
Butler had seen it in practice. He just didn't stop it.
The inside receiver got off the line and up into the end zone. Malcolm didn't really have enough awareness for the play, so he had to go all the way around behind the receiver and the defensive back, and there was just too much space. It was an easy touchdown. So the coaching point was, if they're close enough together, then you've got to be ready to get over the top, and the defender on the inside guy has got to jam him so that he can't pick the corner going over the top.
The fact that the Patriots were even practicing against this play was a credit to Ernie Adams.
Ernie would diagram plays that either he thought that they might run against us or that he had seen from a previous game.
We put all these plays on cards, so our scout team offense, they can just come up, we'll show them this card. You're going to win or lose games at practice. I mean, there is no such thing as being a game day player. You see situations come up on the practice field, you've worked on it, you know what it takes. When it comes up in the game, because you're trained, you're seasoned, you've seen it, you react to make the play.
Second down and goal from the 1.
Seattle down 4, but on the verge of the lead. And it's intercepted!
What happened? Overlapped it, undercut the route.
He saw the pick play coming. He did his homework, and he fired his shot and made the play of the year.
Browner really had a lot to do with that play because he jammed the inside receiver and never got off the line of scrimmage, and Malcolm anticipated the play that he didn't anticipate as well in practice.
I wish I could say that everything we did worked out as well as that. Obviously it doesn't, but we do try to make sure we're ready for anything that's going to come up on a Sunday.
So much work went into that. I mean, I can't tell you how many guys got that same route. Jamie had it twice in practice. Chung had it about 2 times in practice. Malcolm had it twice. We went through it with everybody.
Matt Patricia's in the middle of it, kind of doesn't know what's going on, is somewhere in disbelief to concerned that it isn't real, and is screaming, "We're all right? We good? We're good, right? We're good." I'm like, "Yeah, Matt, we're good, man. We're good." He caught it. He caught it.
I had to gather myself. I didn't want to have a heart attack out there, but I tell you what, it was awesome. Just flat out awesome.
It was a feeling unlike any I've ever had, I can tell you that.
You're not going to have that feeling that many times in life in general. And I remember turning around and I saw Tom's face. He looked like a child.
Oh my God! We did it, guys! We did it! Oh, that's awesome, man! I love it!
I know how hard he works and how much time he puts in. To see him respond and react like that was worth it. That was awesome.
To see those guys come through and make a play like that in that situation, in as much stress and pressure as you can possibly imagine, I mean, I don't think you really could be any prouder.
They were denied perfection 7 years ago. They're going to cap the 2014 season with a perfect ending.
You dream about that happening as a coach. To actually realize it was happening is surreal. This is cool, you know? You're like, I'll remember this forever.
I told the defense back in training camp, I described to them what I felt the first time I held the Lombardi Trophy. With the exception of holding my 2 kids the first time they were born, it's probably the most vivid memory I have. And I stood in front of them, talked about the weight of it, it's top heavy.
It's heavy now! It's heavy at the top! Hold that trophy!
It's going to be really dirty. There's going to be fingerprints all over it. You're going to kiss it anyways because you don't care.
Let me kiss it.
You're bonded for life with that win. That's a family atmosphere. That's what makes it so special, and that's why you got a bunch of guys running out there telling you they love each other.
I love you, man. You did it, bro. I love you. I love you. Bro, yo! I love you too, man. Yeah.
It was raw. It was real.
Love you guys. I love you too. Love you guys. We champs, baby.
And I think it was unique for other people to see it, although it wasn't unique for us to hear it.
I love you, buddy.
We have gone well past, I'm too proud to tell somebody I love them.
Love you, man.
It's okay to tell the guy next to you, if you really believe it, that, man, I love you, I'll do anything for you. And that's what they have here. And that's why the New England Patriots win football games.
I want to thank the great coaching staff, the players, because we are all Patriots. And tonight, once again, the Patriots are world champions.
It's a team that cares about each other. There's a lot of love for each other. We've sacrificed a lot for each other, and happy for all of them. Very happy for all of them.
Great job. What a win. Great job. It took every second. You damn right. Way to go. I'm so happy for you. You too. I'm happy for you.
I think that shows you how unselfish he is. And again, it's just another great demonstration of how tremendous a leader he actually is. Because in the heat of the moment, there's a lot of people that want to take credit for things.
Did you ever think you were going to get your hands on another one of those, Coach? Sure did with these guys. We got a great team. We got a lot of great players. I love these guys.
And here he is deflecting it totally onto the people that deserved it the most.
Thanks for doing this for me. You gave me the best year of my life. You know what? You guys went out there and won it. It's a player's game. I'd do anything for you, Coach. I'd do anything for you.
They're the ones who make it possible. The game's between the lines. They have to make the plays. They carry the fortunes of the team with them, with their decisions, with their execution, and it's hard. It's hard. The short amount of time that they have to make so many critical decisions on every single play, you know, that's why pro football players are pro football players. I have all the respect in the world for those guys that can do that. My high school coach, I'll never forget him talking about how players win them and coaches lose them, and there's a lot of truth to that.
The real truth is that this coach and this team won together because each man did his job.
You know, in the end, that's the feeling that I want all of us to have, is if I go out there and do my job, I'm very confident in the guys beside me doing theirs. Let me go out there and do the best job I can do it, what I have to do, then that's my contribution to the team.